Hi, my name is Greg Sutton. I'm nearly 64 and a third-generation Californian. I work in the construction industry and I've been my own boss for 35 years. And the word retirement is not in my vocabulary. Back in 1992, I read an article by Lowell B. Craft about the 16th Amendment and the income tax. It intrigued me. I had had occasion a year earlier to take a self-directed legal research course, so I proceeded to the law library and put my newfound skills to work on the income tax and the 16th Amendment. The contradictions that arose between what I had been taught and what I had found in the historical record intrigued me even more. There seemed to be a paradoxical disconnect between the income tax's nature as an excise and its apparent enforcement as a direct tax without apportionment by the IRS. I honestly couldn't figure it out. 15 years later, and a lot of water under the bridge later, I was most fortunate to run into this book, Cracking the Code, The Fascinating Truth About Taxation in America by Pete Hendrickson. I read it 3 times within the span of a week, each time the light bulb getting brighter, and I gave it a thorough vetting at the law library. This is the first book of its kind to analyze the code within the context of the tax as an excise. Something that seems logical enough considering the plain language of the Bruchhaber decision, but nonetheless had eluded everyone until Hendrickson wrote Cracking the Code. The accuracy of his analysis is no better proven than by the success of tens of thousands of Americans who get all the money erroneously withheld from them back from the IRS year after year. Of those such as myself who don't have any withholdings, but who, by reading CTC, now have the wherewithal to confidently determine whether they have excisable income or not, and how to properly express it. Another proof of the book's accuracy is the unending, lawless assault against Pete Hendrickson and his wife Doreen by the IRS and DOJ. Since the book was first published in 2003 in a frantic attempt at shoot the messenger theater to dissuade those ignorant of the truth about the tax from reading the book. You can read all about these proofs at losthorizons.com. I was so fascinated by the truth about the tax that I started my own research odyssey into the origins of the income tax, or more appropriately, the excise on the exercise of government privilege. You can see my report on the British use of such an excise at losthorizons.com/documents/the16th.htm. Thank you, Pete, for including my work in what I consider as one of the most definitive yet simple discussions of the 16th Amendment ever written. As an update to that article, I just last week found mention of a duty on British government employees in the 1640s during the Cromwell era in a British book published in the 1780s. I'll be sharing that info in the near future when I get a chance. I have also studied extensively the profound influences that the German-educated political economist had on the eventual shaping of the public's understanding of constitutional taxation and how the Supreme Court tried repeatedly to shut them down. Pete has Pete has graciously shared some of my reflections on this in past newsletters at losthorizons.com. I have also recently found some textbooks on the evolving science of public finance under the Constitution at the turn of the 19th century, in contradistinction to what the Bismarckian socialists were saying. Fascinating stuff. The historical record is chock full of evidence of the income taxes and excise on the exercise of government privilege, and I'm finding more every day. A preponderance of evidence I thought was supposed to render a fact as indisputable. I urge the viewers of this video to take advantage of the indisputable fact that the income tax is an excise on the exercise of government privilege. Read this book. Take advantage of the invaluable resources at losthorizons.com. Then stand tall and take control of your hard-earned property and put it to use for your and your family's best interests, not those of Mordor on the Potomacs. We can turn the present political insanity that we today call the federal government by simply no longer sending them money, which you more than likely never owed in the first place. Take the time to learn the truth about the tax. Act upon the newfound knowledge and see what it is like to be a true American rule of law loving patriot. I'd like to thank Pete Hendrickson for being so David-like in the face of so daunting a foe as the Goliath-like federal government. Men of your courage, intellect, resoluteness, fortitude, and forthrightness are far and few between. Goodbye for now, and thanks for watching.